You're watching SLU-TV. Now, Stephanie Wilga, Cherie Brown, John Castelli, lead forecaster Mary Bester, and sports director Edward Burch. This is SLU News 22.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Welcome to SLU News 22. I'm John Castelli. Tonight, we'll tell you about some changes that are coming here to the BSC, plus give you a preview of the newest art exhibit at SLUMA, and Mary Fester from the Billiken Forecast Center will be here to give you your latest 5-day outlook. But first tonight, Tuesday evening, students with questions had an opportunity to get some answers from the SLU administration. They also had an opportunity to voice their comments. Kareem Johnson has more.
Andrew Clifton, president of the SGA, Father Biondi, and SLU administration, which included university VPs, hosted a roundtable discussion in the St. Louis room Tuesday evening. The event was entitled An Evening with the Administration.
This year is basically do this semesterly and basically have it where it's just kind of a dialogue session, so students have a chance to get FaceTime with administrators.
The goal of the roundtable discussion was to allow students, staff, and faculty to exchange ideas, make suggestions, and have questions answered. It also helps students to understand how the university operates.
Also, to create better understanding, we did this last semester and a lot of people walked away pretty satisfied. I heard a lot of administrators say things like, I wasn't aware of this issue and I'm going to look into that tomorrow. And a lot of students walked away, I think, feeling pretty content.
This is the second event of this nature.
St. Louis University opens its doors to the St. Louis homeless community to provide a hot meal, clothing, medical screenings, and other free services during SLU's annual Open Doors from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Wednesday, April 2nd at the Simon Rec Center. Homeless individuals receive free employment and housing assistance, health screenings, legal services, and opportunities to pursue literacy education. More than 25 social service agencies took part in the event. For weeks, the university has been conducting a clothes drive for Open Doors. Student volunteers have been sorting and organizing the donations, which have already topped last year's collection numbers. SLU student volunteers also staffed booths at the event, and students from the School of Nursing assisted in the healthcare screenings. Faculty and student volunteers from the School of Law provided those legal counseling services and assistance to those attending Open Doors. Open Doors and Homeless Awareness Week are co-sponsored by the Departments of Campus Ministry, Community Outreach and Service Leadership, Voices, the St. Francis Xavier College Church, and the SLU chapter of Habitat for Humanity. Well, there are some major changes coming here to the BSC. Some rearranging on the third floor of the Busch Student Center is going to create a one-stop shop for a variety of student services. The new Student Success Center will include career services, academic advising, as well as other supportive services. Now, to make room, the Student Involvement Center will move to 319, and the Commuter Student Lounge will move to the Quiet Study Room, which is on the second floor next to our studio here. And also, Grand Market is now going to be open Monday through Thursday until 10 p.m. You can look for more changes to the BSC happening very soon. In national politics, Barack Obama said Tuesday that he would consider Al Gore as a major post in his presidential administration. The question was posed by a woman at a town hall meeting in Wallingford, Pennsylvania, who asked Obama about global warming. Gore, who is popular among Democrats, won a Nobel Peace Prize for his work on climate change. Major flooding striking the central U.S., including Missouri this week, offering a preview of the spring seasonal outlook according to NOAA's National Weather Service. Several factors will contribute to the above-average flood conditions, including record rainfall in some states and snow in parts of the northern states, which are melting and causing rivers and streams to crest over their banks. This week, more than 250 communities in a dozen states are experiencing flood conditions. More rain is forecast for St. Louis with amounts near an inch or more possible. And today, thunderstorms will roll through our area as well as overnight. St. Louis and the entire southern half of Missouri remain under a flash flood watch. Mary Fester will have more on the flooding coming up in just a few minutes. When we come back, we'll have more news from Stephanie Wilga. Stay with us.
Welcome back, SLU. I'm Stephanie Wilga. In financial news, Federal Reserve Chairman Bill Bernanke defended the actions of the Federal Reserve to bail out ailing investment bank Bear-Stearns in front of the Senate committee Wednesday. Chairman Bernanke stated that the Federal Reserve's actions prevented serious consequences to the U.S. economy that would have been difficult to contain. However, many economists believe the housing and credit markets have already pushed the country into a recession. The St. Louis University Art Museum opened a new exhibition featuring work by the late Jerry O. Wiklerson. The exhibition is called Discerning Palette, the Jerry O. Wiklerson Retrospective. Wilkerson died of cancer last year at the age of 63, but his art lives on. You can see his artwork at the SLU Art Museum until August 15th. The work consists of paintings of food in a consumer-based society. The exhibition also features sculptures using the same imagery as his prints and paintings, as well as his eclectic quilt work of pizza slices, hot dogs, and cigarettes. Wilkerson's artwork reflects the pop art movement of his era and moved well past it as he casts an ironic eye upon society. Come view the ambiguous pop art at the SLU Art Museum with open minds. The doors open at 11 a.m. and close at 4, Wednesday through Sunday. In health news, 3 separate groups of scientists in the United States and Europe have found genetic links to nicotine addiction. Smokers who inherit genetic variations from both parents have an 80% greater chance of lung cancer than those without the genetics. The results have surprised scientists as they do not pertain to the parts of the genetic code that pertain to pleasure and reward. Scientists are uncertain as to whether it is 1 gene with variations or 3 genes. Scientists studied the genes of 35,000 whites in Europe, Canada, and the United States. Scientists are expected to study Asians and African Americans soon. The smoking rate among adults was 42% in 1965 and is now less than 21%. Smoking-related diseases claim 1 in 10 adults worldwide every year, according to the World Health Organization. Last week, we told you about the Indian Student Association's cultural show. Reporter Candice Naranjo went out to the event and has more to share.
29th, the Indian Student Association presented Meet the Indian Parents, ISA's annual cultural show. The show included dances, skits, video presentations, and impressive acrobatic exhibition. But the show's success will also benefit the Cure Little Heart Foundation, helping unprivileged children with congenital and acquired heart disease have access to modern medical care. For SLU News 22, I'm Candice Naranjo.
The popular website MySpace has an announcement. News Corporation, the owner of the Fox TV network and social networking site MySpace, announced today that it will launch an online music service in partnership with 3 of the 4 largest music companies, Universal Music Group, Sony BMG Music, and Warner Music. EMI Group is not part of the deal. The service, called MySpace Music, will allow users to listen to music, watch videos for free, and purchase music directly from MySpace. The financial details of the transaction were not disclosed. When we come back, lead forecaster Mary Fester will be here to give you the new weather from the Billiken Weather Center.
Welcome back, SLU. I'm Mary Fester from the Billiken Forecast Center here with your weather for today. We had a high of 50 degrees, which is also our current temperature, and a low of 42 that we saw this morning. We have had 0.8 inches of rain so far today, and since January we have had 15.77 inches of precipitation total, which is twice as much as we had last year. And since March we have had more rainfall than we have in the late 1800s. And of course, with all that rainfall, that means the potential for flooding. As you can see, the states shading it in red indicate an above average risk for flooding, and the states in brown indicate a below average, and also drought conditions. But we're getting the flood risk because of the heavy rainfall that we've been receiving so far this season and the snowpacks to our north that are melting and running off into the rivers. Currently at SLU it is 50 degrees. There's some fog and mist in the area and some light rain showers. Our humidity is up at 94%. Winds are out of the southeast at 6 miles per hour, and our pressure is at 29.8. Visibility is down to 2 miles. Looking here at the rainfall forecast, you can see St. Louis is in the 1 to 2 inch range, and that could, of course, be more if we get a thunderstorm right over us. But down to our south and east, they are going to see upwards of 2 and 3 and maybe 4 or 5 inches down in the Boot Hill. So that's why there is this flash flood watch out. And this was taken this morning. It has been updated, and St. Louis is included in the flash flood watch as of right now. Looking at the satellite, you can see a widespread cloud cover over most of the eastern United States. The yellow, orange, and red colors indicate higher clouds, which of course means higher precip amounts too, looking here at the radar. This line of showers and thunderstorms to our southwest will be moving into our area overnight, giving us more rain and the possibility of thunderstorms. As you can see, as we zoom in a little bit, you can see there's a rain shower just to our south right now, and then potential for more rainfall as this moisture moves to the north and east. Now, why all this rainfall? Well, we've had basically the same setup every few days. We get a low pressure system sitting right here over Oklahoma and southwest Missouri, moving a warm front into our area, and then a cold front draping behind it, giving us rain showers and thunderstorms. And by tomorrow morning, it'll be out of our way. High pressure will settle in, and we'll see warmer temperatures for this weekend, finally. Tonight, we'll have a low of 43 degrees. Showers and thunderstorms possible again. Winds will shift around to the north at about 8 to 11 miles per hour, and your sunrise will be at 6:40 a.m. Looking at the 5-day forecast, a chance of rain tomorrow, high of 54 and a low of 38. Saturday it warms up, high of 64 and a low of 44. And Sunday we'll have the chance of rain in the evening hours, but otherwise partly cloudy with a high of 67 and a low of 47. Monday partly cloudy, high of 66, low of 48. And Tuesday a chance of rain, but a high of 67 and a low of 49. From the Billiken Forecast Center, I'm Mary Fester. Thanks for watching the weather, and stay tuned. Edward Burch will have sports later in the newscast.
Welcome back to SLU News 22. I'm Sports Director Edward Burch, and this is what's happening in Billiken sports. The St. Louis men's tennis team will compete in the Atlantic 10 Championship this weekend. It will be played April 4th through 6th at Club for Life in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. The Billikens drew the number 10 seed and will face St. Joseph's in the first round on Friday, April 4th at 10 a.m. The SLU St. Joe's winner will advance to play Xavier in the championship bracket on Friday at 4 p.m. The women's basketball team will hold its annual banquet on Sunday, April 13th at noon in Chaffetz Arena. The banquet will feature a full buffet, an award ceremony, and a special video presentation. For more details, contact Aaron Wright at 977-5076. St. Louis's 5 hits in a softball doubleheader at Southern Illinois on Wednesday was not enough as the Billikens fell to the Salukis 5-0 in the first game and 5-2 in the second game. They dropped their 5th straight. Kristen Nicoletti provided the only spark for the Billiken offense in the early going. She singled to start the game, reached on an error in the third, and stole 2 bases. But it was not enough as they dropped their season-high 5th straight game, and they've moved to 12-20-1 overall with the 2 defeats. And finally tonight, Billikens baseball resumes A-10 conference play this weekend when the LaSalle Explorers come to the Billiken Sports Center for a 3-game series. The first pitch of the series begins Friday at 7 p.m., then continues Saturday at 1, and then finishes Sunday at noon. The Billikens are 11-13 overall and 2-4 in the A-10, and I was able to catch up with a few of the players and talk to them about some of the things that have happened on and off the field. Casey Moore had this little April Fool's joke to share with us.
Pretty good one on April Fool's Day. Ryan Bennett got Ryan Johnson pretty good, sent him an email that apparently looked like a pretty official SLU medical form saying that if you don't get a hepatitis A shot, we're going to drop you from all your classes. Please contact Franklin Lyons and hit at this number. And so Ryan got in a pretty big panic. He got the email at 11:30, sent a long email back, and then the next day hadn't heard anything back, so he called the phone number, and it was the phone number to the St. Louis Zoo. So he was calling for Mr. Lyons at the St. Louis Zoo.
John Castelli, that's a look at Billiken sports. Stephanie will be back to wrap things up after the break, so please stay tuned.
That's all we have for you today, SLU. Thanks for watching, and we will see you right back here next week on SLU News 22.